Hi everybody, I'm Cindy and this is Ideas Times 2. Welcome back to our channel. Today I have a part 2 or continuation of my video from last weekend. And if you watched that video, you'll remember we made this embellished paper bag and a Christmas theme, and we made a couple of tags together to go inside the bag. And this week I've made a few other things to go inside, but I'm going to keep those secret for now, and thought today would be the perfect day to make a few more things to go inside the bag, because today the weather outside is frightful. It is really crazy. We are kind of in the throes of tropical storm Ophelia. Kind of ironic because my juniors have just finished reading Hamlet, so I guess the name is appropriate. I hope they recognize the irony of the situation. Since today all school activities have been canceled and we're all kind of stuck inside because it has been raining pretty much since 9 o'clock last night, and the winds have been gusting up to about 35 miles an hour. Although it's still breezy, it looks like the rain has tapered off today at the moment, so we'll see how much more rain we get from this storm. Hopefully, if you are on the east coast of the United States, you are all safe and tucked inside and hopefully crafting with me today. So I want to show you what we're going to do, and these might look familiar to you. This is from a pack of supplies. I believe it's Tim Holtz Ideology file cards, I believe is what the pack is called. And in the pack it comes with these little ATCs and a couple of folders, some of these tabbed cards, and then some envelopes. And it doesn't come with very many envelopes, but this is the last one I have left. And these are handy to have if you want to sit down and just make something quick, to already have something made, and the quality of the paper is excellent. But what I need to put in the bag are some things that are a little bigger, and this is too small for what I want. So I thought I would use this as the model of what I want to make today. And so it's kind of like a coin envelope style in the back, as you can see, but it has the thumb notch, and I thought this would be something really good to put in the bag, except a little bigger. So the size of this is 3 inches by 4 inches, so I'm going to keep the dimensions the same, just make it bigger. And it's not going to be double the size, because that wouldn't fit in the bag, but the dimensions will still be the same, just larger. So what I'm using today for this project is a manila file folder, and I'm using a large like legal size, because that's just what I happen to have the most of right now. I bought these to make a folio, and haven't made the folio yet. I haven't even sat down to make an exemplar, but that's what I bought them for. But I have so many, I thought I would use these today. So I don't need this one at the moment. I'm just going to use this one, and I've already cut the bottom, or cut it in half on the crease, because my paper cutter is not big enough. So I need to cut this down to about 10.5 inches wide. And so I'll measure here to 10.5, and then now I can use my paper cutter. And I'm actually going to do it this direction, because I know this is even and I didn't cut the bottom very evenly. And this is nice to save. It's almost the perfect size for a tag. It just needs a couple little cuts and it'll be perfect. And I'm going to then trim this off to take the tab off. And there's not a lot you can use this for, but you can use it for a template, so that if you are kind of making your own file folders, mini file folders or whatever, you have that tab, so you might not want to throw that away. And then I need this to be about 6.5 inches tall, so there's 6.25, and I'll estimate that last quarter, which then allows me to cut off the score marks on the bottom. I don't know if you can see, that's what I cut off. Got a lot of glare today because it's so dark outside. But this gives me then, hopefully, if I measured correctly, a piece of paper, a piece of cardstock, then that is 10.5 inches by 6.5 inches, and that will be perfect for what we need to do today. So the next thing I need to do then is make some score marks. And if you don't have a scoreboard, that's not a problem. You can just measure and fold. Not a big deal. And so my score marks I'm going to make will be at 2 inches from the left, and then on the 7-inch mark, and then flip your paper, just one turn, and then I'm going to score again on the 6-inch line. So, I don't know. Yeah, you should be able to see that, right? So you'll have something that looks like this. You've got the score line here and a score line here. And put that away. So the next thing I need to do is down on the bottom, let me show that close up again, down on the bottom where the vertical and horizontal score lines meet, that's where I'm going to cut. I'm going to just cut this little piece off here, and then again on the other side right there. So that's just a couple of snips. And on the other side. It's a little sloppy on that cut. So it should look something like this. And on the bottom, on the Tim Holtz's original that I'm using for my exemplar, it has rounded sides. So in order to get those rounded sides on this tab here, what I'm going to do is before I fold this, I'm going to fold this, which will then allow me to use my corner rounder. So I'll have that. I'll do the same thing on the other side. And just round that. Now I can fold the bottom. And then let's go ahead. Well, actually, let's do this first. Well, let's glue it first. Let's go ahead and glue it. So I'm going to just put a bead of glue going down the side of the shorter tab. I want the taller tab to be on top. So I'm going to put a little glue on this side as well. Not too thick. And then fold it over. And I think this would be a good place to use my bone folder to get a nice edge. And on the exemplar, it has the thumb pull. So I'm going to go ahead and put that there, and I'm using a whatever size this is, 1.5 inches maybe. It doesn't say anywhere on here, but it's the biggest one that I have. And I usually do this from the bottom, or with the bottom facing up, because then I can actually see what I'm doing. And I'm just going to eyeball this. That's why I hesitated on doing that before I glued it, but I figured if I did not do it before I glued, I'd never get them to line up. So, and then on the bottom, I'm going to glue that as well. And it shouldn't take a lot of glue. Fold that, and I'm going to use the bone folder again. So that is nice and has a nice crisp edge. So there we have the foundation for what we're going to do next. So this was the original. I just thought it was super cute, but it's a little small. So this one now should be 5 inches by 6 inches, and I'll be able to make an embellished card to go inside. It's got plenty of room to be able to slip something that's a number of layers deep, and then I'm going to embellish the top as well. So let me clean up my mess here just a little bit. And I was perusing Pinterest the other day, and let me get clean up a little bit of my space here. And I don't remember who the maker is. Let's see if I can find out real quick. But I was really inspired by OneLuckyDay.net. I'm not sure who the maker is. She might be one of Tim Holtz's design team, but Paula, her name is Paula, and she's one of Tim Holtz's. I recognize the name from his videos. But I was really inspired. She had embellished the little ones with all sorts of fun things, and so I thought I would totally steal her idea for at least the foundation. And so I have some Tim Holtz stencils, and I think I'm going to do the point. I'm changing my mind. I'm going to do the holly, and start off by adding some dimension, and then see what happens from there. And I didn't make an exemplar. I haven't tried this before. I just looked at her pictures and then using what I have in the house. So what I'm going to try using is the Ranger Distress Grit Paste, and it's white, and I'm going to add color later, so it doesn't matter what color it is, but I thought I would add some texture. So I'm just using a palette knife, and we'll see. So I'm just smearing it over, or smearing it, as the case may be, over the stencil. And I don't want it to be too thick or anything, so I am just smearing it and then taking quite a bit off. I want it to be noticeably holly. that's gorgeous. And then I'm going to I don't want to have a gap, but this isn't dry yet. Let's see. I don't want to smear the rest of it. I think I need some patience. That's what I think. What I'm going to do is dry this first so that I can do the rest of it. And it shouldn't take long. It air dries in about 30 minutes. I'm going to grab my heat tool and dry it real fast, and I'll be right back. All right, that took no time at all with the heat gun. You can see it's already dry. And I'm going to add just kind of another row. And hopefully it will all blend together. And I'm going to do the same thing, just add another couple of passes of this grit paste. I'm really liking the way that it looks. Yeah, I think that's good. I need to wash that before everything hardens on there, and my little palette knife. But this is just grit paste. And while this is drying, I'm going to go do my dishes here. And we'll be back for the next step shortly. All right, everything is dry, and I think it's looking pretty good. You know, you might look at that and see that, you know, this is obviously an edge, and you may not like that, but I am going to be layering over the top of it at least something. So I think it will all be fine. And what I'm going to do next is to spray them with some Mica Stain. This is Distress Mica Stain. What I really like about the Mica Stain is it has like a sheen, and these colors are great. And so this is Tart Cranberry and Fresh Balsam and Winter Frost. And I'm kind of leaning towards the green, and we'll see. I have a whole bunch of other colors, but of the Mica Stain, these are the only ones that I have, only colors. These are from last Christmas's colors, and I don't know what this year's colors are. I haven't kept up with any of that. So I've got my my tub and some paper towels in there, and I'm just going to spritz it with some Mica Stain. I have to do the back as well, but I'm going to let it dry. I'm probably going to do a couple of coats, and it's probably going to take, it's so humid today, it's probably going to take forever to dry. And I don't want to use my heat gun on this because I don't want it to move the ink around. Let's see. Maybe I'll add a little bit of red. Oh, that looks like blood. I may have just ruined this. We'll have to see. We'll have to see. Because the color is much. The red is definitely a cranberry, not like a Christmas red. So yeah, it definitely looks like blood. This looks like it's more Halloween, like Frankenstein's monster got his hands on it. We'll have to see what it looks like when it's dry. I may have to start over. So I will see you. I'll see you later as we continue to work on this. Hi everybody, I am back with an almost finished product. As you can see, I used more green, dabbed off some of that red, so kind of have a little bit of a bronze look. The back is bright red, and I don't know if you can see, I think you can see that gold over here. This is the Mica Stain, and the Mica Stain is fabulous for this shiny texture. It's not quite as that same look on the front, but I do want to tell you, and maybe I should have left this and shown you before, I did have some problems, a lot of problems actually. The grit paste did not hold the color of the stain. It all just beat it off. And I tried different ways to get it to stick, and including just, dabbing paint on. And when I went to bed last night, it looked like it was going to be just a pale green this morning on the grit paste, and it wasn't. It was still pretty white. Some of them were like a pale pink, but so I fixed it by using the Tim Holtz Distress Crayons, and I used this antique, I think this is antique bronze, yeah, antiqued bronze, and I covered all of the white with that, and I blended it in with a paper towel, and then I sprayed over it again, and it held, and the color seems to be holding. It's dry, so as you can see, I've been working this morning trying to solve this problem, and I think it turned out pretty good. And I don't know how the exemplar held the color, but that's what I had to do to get it to stick. And I did use my heat gun on it without any issues. The crayon didn't melt off or anything, and I think it looks pretty good. In fact, I don't think I'm going to embellish it, like cover any of it up. I'm going to save the embellishments for the inside. But I do want to put a charm on here, so I think that's what I would like to do next to finish this up. And just in the top corner, I'm going to, I want to get fairly close to the edge so that I can put a pin through there, and the pin will dangle. And let's see, I'm going to go with the darker color, I think, since that's what I've used on a couple of other items in that paper bag. This is probably not the best time to be doing this because I'm going to have to go from the inside here. But we'll see. I am going to turn off the camera though, so that I don't blast out your eardrums when I take out the hammer. Okay, it was a little tricky, but definitely doable. And so there's my rivet. And I bought this pack of Christmas charms, winter charms, that have all different colors, and I love this this bronze, even though unfortunately that charm is broken. But I think one of these will be perfect. or maybe even two of them. There's a snowflake, and I think that's, oh, there's some tiny ones. Here's a tiny little Christmas tree. I think I'm going to go with those. The tree might be too small, but, well, too small for a pin. If I can find any, I have, there we go. I have tons of little bulb pins. So I probably even have some of that color stashed somewhere. Oh, it does fit. Awesome. And just a couple of little charms to dangle on the corner. And I think that's cute. Now I need to make something to go inside. So let's see. Put some stuff away. And let's see. I still have this pack of paper. And let's see. I think that red looks pretty good. I don't want to use anything too busy. But maybe something like this. Grab a paper cutter. I am going to have to trim this down just a little bit because the bag is 5 inches and that, or the envelope is 5 inches, and so is this. So I'm going to cut it down to maybe 4 3/4. Make sure that fits. Perfect. And it's 6 inches, the envelope is 6 inches tall. So I'm going to, there's 5, 5.5. Just kind of estimating there. Perfect. And then I'm going to layer this on top. So I need to take off the bottom. And off the side. I hope everybody's doing well today. It's Sunday, 24th. Is today the 24th? The 24th of September. This month has flown by. The rain has finally stopped here in Northern Virginia, although I don't think that's permanent. I think it's supposed to keep raining off and on all day. But the ground is still wet. It's humid as all get out. It's crazy humid today. But it's chilly enough to put my sweater back on. Okay, a little ink maybe. Crunch up the sides a little bit. I just love this paper. It has a nice texture. I'm kind of a paper addict. And my New Year's resolution in 2022 was to go on a paper fast, and I didn't allow myself to buy any paper. And I did it. I made it the whole year without buying any new paper, but the amazing thing is that you can't tell. My stash doesn't look any smaller than what it was before. And since I'm making things all the time, for gifts or for the Etsy shop, or you know, I even took paper to school, to my work, and we made I made journals along with my 9th graders. I showed them how to do a simple pamphlet stitch. And we made little journals. That was a lot of fun. A lot more work. This is the second year I've done that, and I apparently forgot how much work it was last year. And so when I went to do it this year, it's like, oh, this is exhausting. By the time school got out for the day, I was ready to come home for sure. It was a lot of work. It was fun, though. The kids did such a good job on the assignment, the writing assignment that went with it. All right. It's crooked. All right, that's a good start. Let's see, what else do we have just laying around? Maybe a little holly. Yeah, I don't think I want to use these. I think I'm just going to go with simple. Keep it simple. And then stitch around the sides, and then this will be done. I don't think this needs any ink, but maybe a little bit on there. All right. I think it's time to add some acetone to my glue. It's starting to get really gloppy. A little bit of a glue escape. And then I want to add something on there. Maybe some baker's cotton. I've got some red and white striped baker's cotton. So I will finish that later, but I think we're probably at the end of our time. And so that's today's project. And when I am completely done, it'll go inside the bag along with, I don't know, what else do I have? The 2 little tags we made last week, a couple of big tags that are almost done, some other doodads and things. So keep your eyes open. There'll be a video this week with an announcement that has something to do with all this goodness. So take care of yourselves, everybody. I will see you later. Have a good day of crafting. Bye-bye, everybody.